good news. They're saving those people in Mount Everest. They saved 100 of them or so. It's good news. If you guys didn't hear, there was I think it's the best way to describe it is there's a massive storm that goes through because welcome to Mount Everest. But there's the Chinese side and the Nepal, which they say is theirs, but the side where everybody goes up and scales it. This was supposed to be like the easier version of it. And the kitty, you know, like this is the kitty one. No, it didn't work that way. So they had to save those people. So they didn't have to eat anybody. That's good because Ken has got a great song coming up in a little while on our One Hit Wonder Wednesday that may or may not have cannibalism involved in it. Just putting it out there, people. Good news. We're close to something huge. Could be massive. Middle East. That's what should have always happened. The Middle East should have gotten involved in a much deeper way rather than saying no, no, no. Now, is it perfect? No. Could there be some issues? Of course, right? First of all, the issues are going to be there's 20 things that they want to do. Phase 1 and 2 is getting the hostages and the remains back. That's phase 1. Number 1, getting some of the Palestinians that have been held in jails back, because there's a lot of them that had nothing to do with that day, but they've just been deemed, and getting them back. And then whether or not Hamas will, you know, how it works with laying down the weapons. So, yeah, there's going to be some bumps along the road, but that's a huge win. That is massive. And it's something that was needed for Israel. You know, whenever we talk about this, and you'll always hear us joke about it, you know, that, oh, Chad, you burned the bagels or whatever, because you couldn't say anything without people going, you're anti-Semitic. I still get it. No, exact opposite. If you care about something, you're willing to tell them the truth. And the truth was that Bibi and Smodrich and the likes, and if you don't know who he is, he's their finance minister, and Ben Gvir, these people in the Likud party were taking Israel to a place where it would be forever before they got back on solid footing with the rest of the world. And they were also taking us to a place where we got very uncomfortable. And the fact that Trump said, nah, you're going to take the win, Bibi, and be happy with it, oh, it was great. And by the way, as I told you guys last week, Bibi may be the most liberal in his party. When you think about that, it's crazy, right? And the other two, the ones I've talked about, Gvir and Smodrich, they have told Bibi they don't want any part of this. Luckily, I think Trump looked at him and said, shh, you're not involved in this. So I hope they get something done. God willing, they get something done. Because I don't know how many people have died. Since it's 2 years plus, but since that day, I don't know how many IDF soldiers have died. And suicide has also been a big deal. But I don't know how many of them have died or been injured. And then when you look over on the other side, the Palestinians, they say 68,000. I probably think it's closer to 90, maybe 100. Because how many people are underneath that rubble that they haven't even come close to finding? I would like to think it's way less than that. God willing, it's way less than that. And that there is nobody under any of those things. And it's an overestimate. And then comes the hard part. Once this gets done, the hard part of not just maintaining peace, who's on the other side that helps maintain it? What does that look like? Is it, you're going to have the UAE, you're going to have Saudi Arabia, you're going to have several other, Arab nations that are going to be helping with the peacekeeping and training up a police force and a military. And, that is going to be important. And this is, and also policing Hamas, who in the last couple of years were exhausted. You know what? I don't think anybody told them that running the portions of the country would be that exhausting. These people want everything. So good riddance, get them out of there, rebuild, and this is a win for Israel and the world. I think it's a huge, huge deal. Talking earlier about healthcare, the cost of healthcare, the insanity of healthcare, and what is going to be going through the roof. And Marjorie Taylor Greene has been one of the only Republicans that has come out and said, yeah, we can't allow the subsidies to expire and think that that's going to be a win for the people and think that, oh, yeah, don't worry. Eventually, the subsidies are going to come down. They didn't come down with ACA and Obamacare as far as the cost of health insurance. They didn't come down at all, the premiums, when they said they were going to. They didn't even slow down at times. It became much worse, and pulling the rug out from everybody else is going to be a situation where you are going to anger a lot of people who are voters, and that's something you can't have going into next year. We all deserve better. We do. Crony capitalism, restrictive regulations, overreach, and we go on and on. We pay more for health care, and we're further away from our health care provider. Let me phrase that. We're not paying for health care. We pay more for pieces of paper and cards, and yet we're further away from the person that is our provider, the person we talk to. We're further away. And that is so frustrating when you think about it, because what you become is a number. That's it. And they have it broken down like you can see 50 patients today. Each one gets 4.5 minutes. So that way you can just, there you go. Keep going. There you go. That's not, what the hell is that? That's why, even though I paid ridiculous amounts of, and again, I was embarrassed to even say how much I paid, but let's just say we worked it out. I could have, off what we were paying for healthcare, my mortgage, I could add a $750,000 home. That's how much for my family. And what did we do with it? Our deductible was still through the roof. Our copays were ridiculous. And I paid an extra $150 a month when I was in Arizona to have concierge medicine, where we had a guy, Dr. Lamb. Dr. Lamb, what's up? It's amazing. What do we do? Hey, Dr. Lamb, I need a prescription. Okay, cool. What is it? Here's my number. He didn't take insurance. Everything was cash. If you needed an x-ray, he had an x-ray machine. You paid his price. If you had to go to the hospital for an MI or any of these things, it was so much easier. And when we went to see him, because it was subscription-based, so you paid every month, we would spend an hour and a half sometimes with him just BS and talking, going through your life, the whole 9 yards. He would be asking you questions. It was great. And we had his home number. We had his cell phone number. And if you needed something, you text him, he'd get right back to you. And it was totally worth it. That's healthcare. Cards are not healthcare. A law is not healthcare. And if the prices go up, you've got to think about this, and just like we were talking about with immigration, you've got to think about it not in the two ways. First of all, what's best for us as Americans. Secondly, you're trying to win always an election. You're trying to continue to hold what you think is your mandate and build upon that. So there are things that you have to do to continue to do that. And if healthcare goes up, and it's going to go up, it's just how much. We've heard from several of you throughout the day on how much you're paying and how much you think it's going to go up, or you've been told it's going to go up. And some of you have said, we're not going to be able to afford it. We're not. And Marjorie Taylor Greene came at this because, first of all, I think she's looking around and she's had an epiphany that these people that I work with are not serious. They're doing well and they care about their own world. And they're not really working for the people. And she also had been talking to her kids as a small business owner. She got involved in politics because of Obamacare and the whole Tea Party movement. And when she got involved, once she got there, she realized they don't have all the answers. Nobody's really interested in the effect. And being a small business owner that she was, she said, look, people can't afford this stuff. Her kids can't afford healthcare. And that's what really made her say, yeah, this isn't good. There is no daylight between kids are living at home longer, can't afford to buy a house. They're in more debt than ever before. And life is getting more expensive. I saw somebody just text here a little while ago who said, they're retired and they say, look, if my healthcare goes up, I'm going to have to really start making certain decisions that I never thought I'd have to make after working so hard. Yeah, that's why it's important. I don't like the subsidies. I don't want government involved, but it's too late. They got involved, and we all know government doesn't back out well. So the question is going to be, if you decide, nope, we're going to screw it, you people are screwed, okay. What happens, though, when people start seeing their deductibles go up, their copays go up, their actual premiums go through the roof, and then next year it comes voting time, and they say to themselves, yeah, no, I don't like this. I feel like you guys did actually want to give tax cuts to the uber wealthy, which they did, and at the expense of a lot of other things, and you don't have any real ideas about how to fix healthcare. We're going to talk about fixing healthcare coming up straight ahead, among other things. White Girl Wednesday, we'll do some of that, and One Hit Wonder Wednesday. There's a big debate about Ken's song that I've seen several things about it. I like the song. It's an interesting song. We will discuss that as well. If you missed any of the show, grab the podcast. Happy Wednesday. It's the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. My old boss used to say, don't bring big problems, bring me solutions. That's what he used to say. His name was Andrew. Chad, don't bring me a problem, bring me a solution. Okay.
Sounds like a boss.
He was boss, man. He's a good dude. So how do we fix healthcare? You know, as we've been talking about, the expense. And because I lived under, everybody talks about socialized medicine. Yeah, it sucks. It's got its good and it's got its bad, like everything. I lived in Britain for about a decade. And I had an NHS card, National Health Insurance. If you, and this is something I think people need to understand. If you break your arm, right? Like, the old saying is, you break your arm, you want to break your arm there. And you're not getting a bill the way you would. Because here, you never know what that bill could be. If you have a heart attack, you want the best, here it is. And again, you don't know what that bill is going to be either. Depending on what study you're looking at, 62% of bankruptcies are medical related. I mean, the cost, we were doing that thing that fight DMD, and they were talking about that shot that they're giving these kids. And this is a form of muscular dystrophy. It's $3 million a shot. Not many people have $3 million for a shot. That's expensive. So I think the way that this thing's going to have to go is you're going to have to start giving people choices. And somebody floated something earlier that I think is something that I've talked about for years is you pay for the thing, right? You get an appendicitis, you pay for that. You break your arm here, you pay for that. You get cancer, and for all the taxes and the money and everything, we might start looking at, okay, how do we shift this? And the government's going to have to take a portion of this, control of this. It sucks, but that's the reality of where we are. Giving people choices of, hey, do you want private insurance? Great. Okay, private insurance is what you got. If you want to go on, the government-backed-ish state insurance really is what it is, or something like that, then you give people the opportunity to do that. But the fact that, we're sitting here and people are deciding whether or not they're going to be able to afford their rent with food going up and then saying to themselves, good God, now I got to pay an extra 25% for my company-based healthcare, let alone people that are employed for themselves or small business owners. That is, we've got to come up with ways, and we've got to start floating this out there. We give so much money away. We just give $20 billion to Argentina for what? Because they can't manage their money, and Malay's a pal, and our buddies went down there and they invested a crap ton of money, and it's not going the way they thought, so they'd like somebody to bail them out. It's kind of what it was. We've got to start figuring this stuff out. Trump got rid of the, because one of the things Biden did I thought was okay, and Trump even floated when he was out there the first time, is your medical debt shouldn't count against your credit. It's a different world, right? It wasn't because you couldn't pay your car payment. It's because it cost $200,000 for, you getting run over by somebody. So there's going to have to be some serious come to, because the problem is if we don't come up with a fix that has the capitalistic things that we enjoy, the system will eventually blow itself up. And then what do you have? Nothing but the socialized medicine, which, again, can be a nightmare. There's good and there's bad. But you want the waiting? And then you got to talk to the doctors, too. Everybody thinks, well, we'll go to that. You guys, I've played it before. I follow this guy, Dr. Salary Doc, on TikTok, and I think he's on Instagram. And he goes through how much people make being a doctor. And comparatively to Europe, by the way, which is not a lot. They don't make a ton. They still make okay money. It's not like they're broke, but, like you got dentists here. This guy works 32 hours a week, and he makes $485,000 a year, and he's out of dental school for 3 minutes. They're not going to give that up. So you've got to find some happy medium in this world and address the issues that matter to the people. And that's what I care about. Again, I don't care about the team. I care about us. I don't care about the colors of the red and the blue. I care about the red, white, and blue, which is us. And there's going to have to be a fix. Because if your kid gets sick, you shouldn't have to file bankruptcy, sell your house, and live with your mom and dad again so you can take care of your kid. We're going to have to find a fix. And people need to start addressing it. And Republicans, you got a chance to do this in a way that hasn't been done and could shape generations, but also could just put the Democrats away. Time to take advantage of it. All right, coming up, One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Ken's got a very controversial one. Bell has one that I've heard other people do, but this is the original. And I have one that has a tie-in with a guy who sang about soda, was in a famous horror movie, but he was also a disco legend, apparently. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Matt is here joining the program as we wrap it up on this Wednesday.
I think it's because I'm over 50 now.
Isn't that weird?
We're just continuing the conversation we were having before the
Matt
music
went in
started.
and to his physical, and they said that he had to take a whole bunch of shots.
Oh, no. They did not. They said they recommended them.
It is
Matt declined them.
So now the shingles.
I just want to learn more about that.
That's the you don't want to get the shingles. Everybody,
You do not want to get the shingles.
But
My grandmother had the shingles. It was bad. Brian Wilson had the shingles.
Oh, that's this. And it's weird too because you can get it in like your eye and I mean it's brutal.
Blindness.
Yeah.
Blindness for the eye.
That's if you've had
chickenpox.
If you haven't had chickenpox,
then you do not have the ability to get the shingles.
Yeah, I think that's
right.
Okay.
But if you've had the chickenpox, they're like, hey, you should probably get the shingles vaccine and yada, yada, yada. Do you want to do that today? And I'm like, yeah, I don't. No, I want to go do some research. And they look at you funny.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my doctor. And I like, for what it's worth. But I just, I'm just going to go do my research. I might come back.
It's because you're 50, man. It's weird.
I might come back.
Right? Like you start getting those, those art magazines out of nowhere.
I've already done have you done the colonoscopy?
No, it's been a while. So then they tell you come back every,
I have to do it again. I did mine a little early because I was having some digestive issues and I just wanted to make sure, and I'm a hypochondriac, so I start thinking about these things and I'm like, and I'm not afraid of all of that. So I think I was 40, I guess I was 47. No, I was 48. So a couple of years before the 50. Now it's 45, I guess. Yeah. I mean, they say if you have colorectal cancer in your family. So I went in. It was a breeze. I mean, it was, the night before is obviously,
they buy you a drink. They take you out. They knock you out. Next thing you know, you wake up.
You wake up and you feel good and you feel gassy for some reason.
That's it. Yeah, the night before when you have to drink the stuff.
That's no fun.
No.
You're sitting on the commode. But, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, I had one too many polyps. All of them were benign, but if you have no polyps or like 3 polyps, you don't have to come back for 10 years. But if you have 6 polyps like I had, you have to come back in 5 years.
Yeah, and it's and in colon cancer, I mean in prostate cancer is like really slow.
Right.
You'll find some people. My friend's dad got it, and he's like, I'm like, what are you going to do? And he's like, they told me we're going to monitor it.
Yeah.
We'll come, we'll look at it in a year or so. There wasn't any rush to.
Right.
So it's an interesting thing. The shot thing, though, it's because you're over 50, I was saying, have you gotten to that point now when you're reading and they say 18 to 24, it used to be, okay, I used to be in that group, and then I was in this group. Now I'm at the group before the last group of where it just says 65 plus.
All right.
And you're like, oh, my God.
Right. And, and you can do whatever you want to then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the way I feel about
It's
it.
a free-for-all.
I told my doctor today that I'm starting to she said, I see that you once smoked. And I said, I did. I stopped in 2005. I smoked for 17 years, and I've now stopped for over the length of time that I actually smoked. And I said, but I plan on starting back. And she looked at me funny. I was like, yeah, I'll start back 70, 72. I feel like,
At that point in time, it doesn't matter. Like,
let's
if you
go,
want to have
baby.
a cirrhosis of the liver, let it go.
Let's roll. Let's go.
I'm not doing cocaine till the very end.
Right. And then I'm just blowing it out, baby.
What did you think of? I saw your tweet earlier about how close, like the voting. He won. Mega Matt won, but in a decent amount. But the Democrat voting was close numbers wise.
Well, yeah, the numbers between the Democrats themselves, but Afton Bain wins that. What I thought was interesting is that if you total up all of their numbers and total up all of the Republican numbers, there's like a 5,000 vote difference. Which I think if people, if you support Republican values, or if you consider yourself a conservative, this could be won by a Democrat. And I just want to make people aware of that. If you go into the week after, because this election is happening, I think the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving, yeah.
So everyone's in holiday zone. They're in holiday mode. And if you're a Republican or a conservative and you think, oh, this is a breeze, I can just stay home, you better make sure this guy is your guy. I think there's an independent in the race too. But make sure that Matt Van Epps represents your values, and you better go vote. Otherwise, Afton Bain could be the representative from the 7th Congressional District. I think this could happen easily.
Yeah, it could. And, the apathy, I forgot, it was Thanksgiving, the family was here.
Yeah.
Then you wake up and you go, it's Tuesday, don't worry, he's going to win. This is a red state. He's going to win, no problem.
You remember the old Eddie Murphy bit? I voted for Jesse Jackson. I voted for Jesse. What? He won. What?
It's true, kids. You never know. You never know. Matt, straight ahead talking about shots in his colonoscopy. Have a good one, boys.
Hey!